Welcome to Every Animal Has an Owner, a mostly large animal podcast for veterinarians and the people that depend on them.
Bovine coronavirus is interesting. Well, first of all, a coronavirus is a coronavirus is a coronavirus. They're fairly ubiquitous across species. We all have them. Obviously, we know about human coronaviruses from SARS to COVID-19. Those are the severe ones. We also have coronaviruses that cause less of an effect on individuals. They generally attack mucosal surfaces. And so one of the things about bovine coronavirus that's a little bit different than people's experience with COVID is everybody associates COVID with respiratory complications. That was what killed people. That's what the problem lay most of the time. Bovine coronavirus is a tricky little guy because it is definitely involved in respiratory complications. It's a component virus that we associate with something called bovine respiratory disease complex. In conjunction with several other viruses. So it affects the lungs and it causes respiratory complications that can affect cattle. But there's also an enteric coronavirus that can cause diarrhea and cause gastrointestinal issues as well. And so that makes it a bit of an interesting aspect from developing a vaccine because the ideal vaccine would target the area where you actually see infection. And in this case, what you're trying to target is both the gut and the non-gut. The good news is that we know the target for bovine coronavirus, just like we did for COVID-19. We have had vaccines against coronaviruses in swine for many, many years. Transmissible gastroenteritis virus, porcine epidemic diarrhea virus was a coronavirus. So we knew that the spike protein was going to be the required one. We can look at that spike protein and we can specifically make vaccines based on spike protein and other proteins within the virus that allow Medgene to produce a broad coverage enteric and respiratory coronavirus product. But that particular shift or blend between both gastrointestinal as well as respiratory complexity for the coronaviruses, that's a little bit different in cows than we generally see in other species. Usually the other species, it's either gastrointestinal or respiratory. I think most of the targets that are usually there for coronavirus are respiratory because bovine respiratory disease complex is a major scourge of the cattle industry. We can change fairly rapidly and we can do things without the level of investment that is required on the part of a full commercial vaccine. Modified live vaccines, which a lot of these vaccines are exceedingly expensive to produce, laborious and long-term investments. And so once you actually have that out there, the desire is to see that vaccine in the marketplace for as long as possible before you have to change it or do a modification. I don't believe this is anything nefarious on the part of the vaccine companies. It's simply reality that if you have a product that you've invested $10-15 million into that is generating revenue steadily from year to year, there's not a real impetus to tweak that to adjust for new options. If anything, it's a plus to our business to be able to modify our vaccine formulations and adjust those according to the needs of the field, as opposed to continually try to sell something that we have a strong investment in over and over and over again. We do have reserve stock that we produce so that we can always meet the needs of our clients, but those are not something that we produce in excess, so they cannot be changed moving forward. So I think a lot of it has to do with the business decision. Determining the differences between the respiratory and the intestinal strains can be a challenge. And so the original vaccines that were isolated were based on one or the other. And to go back and add a second one in and do the expense of that may not be something that these companies wish to delve into because they simply do not perceive it as a need.